First of all, thank you for the invitation. I think it's a very interesting topic to discuss because it constantly changes. To be honest, I think 5 years ago, I would have, while talking about e-democracy, I would have been 100% positive about the effects of it. But I think nowadays, seeing how the so-called post-factist society can exist, I think there's also some downsides of it I think we should also be aware of. So I think it's good that we discuss this. And also while reviewing basically what my organization does on this topic, I realized that for us as young people, e-participation is not e-participation, it is just part of how we see youth participation. Just to briefly go back to who we are, what I mean with that, I'm from the Young European Federalists. That is nothing scary. It's a youth NGO that is non-partisan, meaning we don't come with one political party. We have members that are members of Christian Democrats, Social Democrats, leftists, and we have members who are not member of a party, but on purpose, and they still want to be active for Europe. So we're youth NGO and we want a democratic Europe, or a more democratic Europe. I think that's where a lot of our work focuses on. And we're active in more than 30 countries. We organize seminars, we organize discussions and campaigns and citizenship education. I think that's also already a sign that I will not only talk about what we think about youth participation, youth e-participation, but also to present you a little bit of how we do youth participation. So what we do as an actor, let's say, on youth participation is we have different projects. Let me see, there was a note on that. For instance, in 2015, we had a work plan granted by the European Youth Foundation. That was called Europe 2.0, European Democracy Upgraded, short DEM Upgraded. A result of that was, for instance, that we launched an app called DEM Alert, where you basically, it's like Google Map, but you can always, if you see a violation to democracy or human rights, you can pin it down, so you can note it down. And I think we were one of the first international youth NGOs, at least within the European Youth Forum, that have launched an app. So that was a great success. But what we still need to do is basically follow up on that and see how we can further work with that. So yes, you can see a lot of youth NGOs basically deal with the topic and trying to figure out what they want to do. But I think it still needs to, we're still constantly evolving in this. Next year, we also want to dedicate basically our entire international seminars about this topic, but I can't really talk about this much because it's still up for, a decision by others. And I also want to pinpoint the last structured dialogue cycle, the fourth one on youth empowerment. If you don't know what the structured dialogue is basically, how should I phrase that? The dialogue that youth NGOs and youth national councils have with the European institutions. The topic is mostly set by the council presidencies, and the last under 1.5 years dealt with youth empowerment. And obviously, as Jeff, we thought, okay, youth empowerment for us, that means political empowerment. And as part of that, we pushed for a lot of things, such as, having citizenship education in schools, because I think that would tackle a lot of apathetic things, but also let's talk about lowering voting age, having a youth quota, and also having more online debates. But just to show, e-participation for us is just a way of youth participation in this. But how do we get with, how did we gather our opinions? What did we want to do for the structured dialogue? Was a online and offline consultation that we did with our members, which already brings me to what we do as an organization for youth participation itself. Because we do political dialogue and we do that a lot with social media. I think generations before us, our organization is, I think, older than 40 years officially. It was very difficult to see how all the members have what all members think about a certain topic. And nowadays we have our political commissions currently on Facebook. We have Facebook groups for that. And we're right now transitioning to an online forum, just because obviously there's also privacy issues with that, and members have, voiced their critique on that. So we have a lot of political discussions, dialogue that results in what we do as a on European level, what we say as a mandate to decision makers. But at the same time, we're also very active on social media, and we have seen that within the past year, especially due to Brexit. Unfortunately, we do get a lot of attention by people, because suddenly they realize, okay, this is a wake-up call. We need to do something, and at least let's be informed. Just like a Facebook page or follow a Twitter account, that can be fun. And we try to balance basically the posts that we have. We have political ones, but the ones that hit it off most are, funny pictures, because it's social media. And with that, we reach definitely more people than just the people that already, are members of JEF or the European movement and that are very familiar with us. Yes, I think that would be it so far.
Well, thank you very much, Leonie. Are there any questions on what the Young European Federalists are doing, more trying to involve citizens using technology? I have one question for sure. So in your organization, you always deal with very highly motivated young people and very interested usually in politics. Is that the average case for the young people you meet? Or actually what I would like to know is, how do you bring young people to be more engaged? Okay, in your case it would be fighting for a federal Europe, but I imagine that you have to really start from the basis and start trying to explain to young people why it is important for them to even contribute to a community and to take more part into a democratic life. So do you have any tips and tricks for us in this case?
So I do think our members are very highly committed, and that's higher than average, absolutely. Because you do need a base within a person, basically a base of political interest or awareness. Mostly it's still face-to-face. It's a friend that tells you, hey, listen, I heard about this discussion, I think it's interesting, join us. For some people it can be, it depends who you are. If you want to read up on information, obviously it's more, reading up on what we have online. And also engaging via Twitter. I see some people basically that have found their ways to different organizations, not only mine, via this way, but it's still most of the times face-to-face. And it has to, it does depend on young people being aware of how our political system works, what our rights are, and realizing when something is not going well. And I think that is actually crucial, to have citizenship education on all of our school curricula, because as I understood, please correct me if I'm wrong, but as I understood, citizenship education is not part of British school systems. Yeah, so that explains a lot why young people are like, I didn't thought my vote count. And for me, that's just completely unbelievable that there can be a person walking around on the earth thinking this.